Okay, joined now from London by WION correspondent Mandy Clark. Mandy, hopefully you're ready for the game. What's the mood out there in London? Are fans optimistic? There wasn't too much hype about this England team, especially after decades of underachievement. But have the performances in the opening phase of this tournament, have fans started to believe now?
Absolutely, and the term "believe" has been plastered all over the tabloids, the tabloid newspapers, the strongest supporters of the English team. You're right. As starting off at this tournament, there wasn't a lot of expectation, and that seems to have played to England's advantage. Right now, even in midday, there are people who are chanting football songs, saying that England's going all the way. So there's certainly a lot of high spirits in the UK. It's also a heat wave, so the pubs are packed. Everyone will be watching this game, and there's a lot of expectation on England to pull it off.
You shouldn't have said pubs are packed. Ashley Westwood is missing London right now, Mandy. But about the game coming up right now, Colombia, you spoke about belief. Do they now believe that England can beat Colombia, or is there guarded optimism, especially because of the way Colombia play?
I think it's exuberant optimism. It's been a chaotic World Cup where, Germany going out had England fans ecstatic. So there's a lot of hope that they can take it on. They do respect Colombia. They are very strong players. So there's an understanding that this won't be a cakewalk, but there's a lot of hope among English fans that they can pull it off.
Okay, I can see the excitement in your voice, Mandy. Go on, enjoy the game, and hopefully we see you celebrating tomorrow morning. That's the view from England. Let's give you the lineups then for this game. And let's start with England, because they have gone back to their first choice 11 after rotating 8 players in their last match, a 1-0 defeat to Belgium. That means the likes of Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, Jordan Henderson, Kieran Trippier and Harry Maguire are all back in the team. Dele Alli has also recovered from injury and replaces Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the middle of the park. Eugeneson, he's gone with his strongest lineup. Hopefully they're recharged, rested, and they don't carry the scars from that defeat to Belgium.
Obviously, definitely a good rest that he's given them, and it's good to see Ali back in the team. Creativity from his part. They've got great players up front. Kane, top scorer at the moment. Sterling, Lingard, and it'd be interesting to see Rashford coming in later on.
Okay, the big news for Colombia is that their star man, James Rodriguez, is not fit to start this game after he suffered a leg injury in their previous match against Senegal. Jefferson Lerma slots into the team in what looks like a 3-man midfield, with Juan Quintero, Juan Cuadrado and Radamel Falcao making up a makeshift 3-man front line. A big loss for them, that one. No James?
Yeah, huge loss. But it's not all about one player. They've got big hopes of Quintero. They were playing a 4-2-3-1 when James was playing, and Quintero has been doing that well. He was occupying the number 10 role, and James was going out to the left-hand side, so he kind of dislodged him because he's in so fine form. 2 real good centre-halves, Mina and Sanchez, 1 Barcelona, 1 Tottenham. So these are a strong side, and obviously the goals and reliability, strength of Falcao up front. This is going to be a very tough game.
Eugene, the question, we heard Mandy there talking about optimism, that there's belief. But how good have England actually been? They've only beaten Tunisia and Panama. Is that a worry ahead of this game?
No, I wouldn't say it's a worry. They've got great players who are playing at really big top clubs in England, and I feel they've got the motivation and the hunger in them. You can see the hunger in them, and I feel it's a changed England team compared to the previous years, and they look like they want to create history. So they're very optimistic, and I feel on their part as well that they can really do well.
Okay, he's talking about history, but is that burden of history, isn't it, Ashley? I mean, you're a very proud Englishman. You've played football with the likes of Phil Neville, Gary Neville, David Beckham, and that generation. You've seen this great generation of players underachieve in a sense at the top level, at the World Cups, quarter-finals, and not beyond that. The fans as well have been wondering why haven't been able to go all the way. This team, not too much pressure coming into a tournament, but sometimes when the pressure's off, results could come.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a no expectation feel of it. They've incorporated the media, that's been a huge plus. And we know that secretly that this campaign wasn't going to be the one that we're trying to aim for. Yes, we want to win it, but it's going to be the next one, you know, in 4 years' time, because all this team will be together in 4 years' time. I think we've only got one player over the age of 30 in the whole squad. You know, we're now the youngest team left in the competition, so that's given us the opportunity to go out there, play with freedom, have a good crack at it, see what happens, but knowing that we're on a building process still, we're on a transition process. You know, we've come with this 3 at the back, 3-5-2 if you like, to try and, you know, play teams from the back, and it's all been a huge kind of a 5 to 10 year plan from the FA. You know, they've got this English DNA now that all the academies abide to, and it's been a long process, and then we're now starting to see lots of young players come through, and we're starting to get success because we've been, you know, stripped back, and we've been going in at the academies and changing everything, the way we play, the way that we stand for, you know, classic English. Used to be 4-4-2, long ball, fitness, fight, scrap. Now all of a sudden we've got loads of technical players, so it's starting to change.
You can see the excitement in his voice. Let me ask you the uncomfortable question then. Do England start underdogs in this game?
I don't think so. I think the underdogs will be Colombia. England have got too much power, too much like depth in their team, and they've got a good amount of experience at a high level. I know the quality of football that they play in. So I would say the Colombians will be underdogs. Okay,
Ashley, let's get straight into the tactical battles, because when I look at England, when I look at Colombia, you think that midfield, even though James is not playing, you have Cuadrado, Quintero playing. England, you think, have to win the battle of the midfield. Is Jordan Henderson going to be the most important man for England today in the centre of the park?
Yeah, I think obviously we expected Colombia to be a 4-2-3-1. That was a lot hinged on whether James would play. England we knew was going to be a 3-5-2. And I think it looks now that Colombia have just changed, and that's because of obviously the numbers and the dominance that England have in midfield. And when we look at it a little bit further up, it'll be, you know, we expected there to be a kind of a number 10 man for Colombia, but I think we now realise that that's not going to happen. You know, they're going to drop back into more of a 3-man midfield, if you want, and they're going to try and match England up in the middle. You know, a 3v3 in the central areas. Obviously, when England defend, you know, when we're trying to stop the Colombians playing, you'll see the Colombians slip into these kind of positions to try and put some pressure. But England will drop into a back 5. But whichever way you look at it, it's how the teams quickly move from attack to defence in transition. So as soon as England get the ball, straight away we try and push our wing backs on straight up the pitch, and we flatten out a 3 across the back and make the pitch as big as possible. That then probably makes Colombia try and drop back. So it's going to be a kind of a game of cat and mouse. If we can move that ball nice and quick, we may catch the Colombian too wide of their attacking 3, if you like, up the pitch, and then straight away we have a 5v3 in the middle. But if Colombia are decent and well drilled, they'll try and get back nice and quick, and they'll drop into this position, and then themselves will become a 5-man midfield. So that's the way the game will swing backwards and forwards. So it's all to do with speed of pass, speed of transition. The other plus side that England have got, they obviously have Lingard in the middle that likes to make real forward runs. So that again is another game of cat and mouse. Dele Alli is exactly the same. He's going to want to try and get this side of their midfielders. Right. So again, the battle becomes, you know, these two midfielders. Can the Colombian midfielder stop Lingard? Can the other Colombian midfielder stop obviously Dele Alli? And all of a sudden you start to see matchups all over the pitch, and whoever handles that the better will obviously come out on top. We've got the added pace of Sterling down the right hand side, if you like. He's going to try and stretch their defenders, but the more England start to stretch the Colombian defence, the more space we start to get into this position, and then the more space it becomes, Dele Alli starts to become an influence in the attacking perspective. So there's loads of different battles going on, but long and short of it is, it's going to be a 5-5 in the middle, depending on how fast teams move from attack to defence.
Are you seeing lots of goals in this match, considering how England have played, how Colombia have played?
I think it'll be a tight game.
Okay, Eugeneson keeps it short and simple. He thinks it will be a tight game. So who will seize the moment? Can England end decades of underachievement, or will Colombia's flair carry them through? Ashley Westwood and Eugeneson Lyngdoh will be back at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday to look back on that game. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Ashley, hope it doesn't go to penalties, just for your sake. Relax, your team will hopefully give us a cracking contest to make up for the one we've just seen. Time to say goodbye.